Welcome everybody to Sasa and Goff live recorded. I am Sasha.
And I am Goff.
And we are here once again on the Google Meets. That is right. We are here. Last one. This has to be it because
last
our
one. It's got to be the last one.
The subscription ends. We have to pay for it after this. We can't
Well,
do
either
it.
that or I just have to use a different credit card. Another one I could use for a month. So.
All right. I guess that's what we're going to do then. No, I need you to
not
get here.
doing that, but.
Yeah, I'm sick and tired of this. Welcome, everybody. This week's episode, we're going to be doing our top 3 favorite and least favorite things about the 4th of July. We're going to try and get into this quickly here, but just as a refresher, if you guys have anything you want to talk to us about, specifically 4th of July related, so that we can talk about it next week, or whatever you feel like doing, give us a call, 1-727-266-6469. Leave a message or text us. Either way, we get them, and I reply. So that's the thing we're doing. Don't forget to go to sasaandgoffmerch.com. No H in Sasha, no H in Goff, no H in .com, but there is an H in merch. I messed up. I should have made it without the H, but that's on me. I apologize for that
It's
one.
like sasaandgoffmerch.com.
Merch.com. Yeah, that would have been
very
better.
Confusing. Yeah.
How'd this one go for you, Goff?
You know, when we talked about it last week, I was kind of like, Like, I thought it was just kind of like an okay category because I kind of felt like we would have similar ones because we're both, like, older, old men. But I think...
still do. I still think that's how it's going to be, yeah.
It probably will. I think probably like 2 out of 3 for top and bottom. But, I was able to find some, and I think they're not, completely generic. So, how about you?
Cool. Yeah, same thing. Like, I think they're okay. I think they may even be common, but like I think they're popular enough to talk about. So we'll get to those at the end of the show. As far as last week, we did our top 3 commercials, and there was tons to choose from. We did get a bunch of suggestions, a bunch of comments, got an email. Some of the comments on the YouTube, our dear friend Hattori Hanzo said there used to be an Italian Nike commercial like 20 years ago during the World Cup where a guy kicks a ball through Satan and makes him explode.
That's I love the word explode, so when I read that I laughed out loud, and it just it sounds amazing.
Our dear friend Bishop sent one in. I totally forgot about this one, but this was an excellent one. It was a DHL commercial. I think it was DHL.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it was like DHL Russia or whatever. So this guy is just driving a van around, and he's got his band in the back of a van with him. So like that's not DHL, that's the other guys or whatever. Mm-hmm. And the big line in there is, "You smooshing the packages."
It's so good. It's
so good, and I think it also is kind of like a Serbian flair to it, even though it's not Serbian, but you can kind of be like, I
could just go ahead and say it is. That one, right when I clicked on it, it started, it was like, oh my god, yeah, this is a great one. I remember that.
Have you seen it before or no?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
I remember when it was on. So when I saw it again, it was like, holy shit, this one's great.
And then our dear friend Giuseppe in Milan sent in a good one. Totally forgot about it. It was an SNL parody commercial where there's 2 ex-porn stars or whatever who are doing, like one of them is Moe and I don't know what it's called, Chandon, like the champagne.
I just watched it. It's I got all I'm gonna say. I'm sorry, man. Like I didn't know that they could say I sprained my wrist jerking off a horse on SNL. I couldn't believe that.
But now you want to watch.
Because, this is you sent me the link again. Like this is the only time I've seen it, and like you could actually hear the crowd. Like they didn't really even laugh. They were just like, oh, like whoa. Can
SNL crowds are like tame, and so some of those jokes where they go very hard or whatever is not. It's not up their alley, but it is very funny. I just like that. The beginning where they're like, "Hi, we're not porn stars anymore."
Like,
I'm Brookie.
And then she's like, "And that's my friend Brookie."
Yeah,
like the one doesn't introduce herself
anymore. And they repeat it.
Yeah, it's good. Everything.
Yeah, so good call, Giuseppe, on that one. And then our dear friend Alfred Melmack also sent us an email. He goes, this is such a broad and tough category. You could have done top 3 beer commercials. Absolutely true. Top 3 insurance commercials. Top 3 This Is Sports Center commercials. All the top 3 Chicago commercials. All of that stuff. He brought up Eagle Man, Victory Auto Wreckers, Lerner and Rowe. Dial 222-2222. That one. All good ones. And then he says, gotta say my fave overall. And by the way, he throws out 3 Bud Light commercials. That could have been its own category as well. But I wanted to see if you know any of these commercials or saw any of them. He says, gotta say my favorite overall is the Bud Light swear jar commercial. Technically never aired on TV, but has received many views online. Have you seen this one?
Maybe I have, but off the top of my head, I no.
Okay, so there's like a swear jar in an office. Like an office setting or whatever, and the guy's like, what's that for? And the lady's like, if we swear, we put money in the jar and then we can buy, I don't know, like a case of Bud Light or something. So everybody in the office starts swearing like at each other.
I think I've seen it.
Yeah, so the whole thing's like beeped out and whatever. Very good commercial. Another one that I've never seen this one before. It was Bud Light and porn, and he goes, this also had your guy from Jury Duty. So in my mind, I'm like, Stanley Tucci, Pauly Shore, like who was he talking about?
Shore right off the bat.
And then, so I'm watching this one, and this was really, really good. It was a commercial where a guy goes into like a liquor store, and I think they're making him buy something to like get change back or whatever. And so he's like, I'll take one of these porn magazines. Give me a tongue in cheeks. So it's a bunch of puns like that. And the lady's like, we don't have tongue in cheeks, but we have nuts and bolts. Is that, like they're all just like whatever. Yeah. And then like his like high school crush walks up behind him and is like, hey, and he's buying porn. And he's like, this isn't me. And then the lady working the counter is like, we need to check on the porn. It's a whole big production. Yeah. And then the third guy who comes up is Kirk Fox from Jury Duty.
Okay. Oh, Kirk Fox. Nice. Oh, I was thinking Jury Duty the movie. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. And so like it finally clicked when I saw him on the thing. So he gets on there and then like he's talking about stuff, and so it's just this whole big porn thing, and the guy's like, I'm trying to get out of here. So he takes his stuff and he goes to leave, and a gunman walks in and holds him hostage, and he's like, I'll kill the porn guy. And so everybody's just like knowing him as the porn guy. Then they cut to the news, and it's like local porn collector, this guy, and they have his picture and everything, and they're like, we're gonna talk to his mom in a moment. It just keeps escalating. That's
great.
Excellent commercial. And then he had another one that was like a fist bump Bud Light commercial, where like a guy goes for a fist bump to his friend, and he's like, no, we don't fist bump anymore, this is what we do. And so they like smack each other, and then that becomes a thing. And I kind of wonder if Bud Light was like, let's try and make smacking people like each other a thing. You know what I mean? Like you're at the bar, and instead of like fist bumping your buddy, you're just like hitting them or whatever. All solid ones. He said the best for last featured national treasure Christopher Walken. This was a Kia commercial during the Super Bowl. It was the walk-in closet. So it's like this guy walks into a closet, and it's Christopher Walken, and he's doing this like dramatic, the only way that he can do it scene. Yeah. And then like the back opens up, and it's a Kia Optima, and he's like, whatever. It's a car commercial in the end. Okay. But yeah, thank you for all of those suggestions to everybody. They are very funny.
We had a lot of comments this week. It was great.
Yeah, absolutely. People like the commercials on that one. So. Besides that, it's been a crazy week. It is the 4th of July weekend has just passed, and last week was crazy. I don't know. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about my week. Last Saturday, we had the Billy Joe Travis golf. We talked about it. Sunday, pie eating contest. My wife, 3rd place, devastated the family. On that day, my dear friend Bishop, came to town. My cousin Bluff came to town.
Yeah.
And so Monday I went to lunch with him. Tuesday night we all went to Strung Out and Death by Stereo. And by all, I mean literally 90% of the people I've ever met in my life were at that show.
Yeah.
You were there. I was there. It was a Tuesday night. You worked the next day?
No, I was off the entire
Oh,
week.
you took off.
I worked yesterday. It was the first time I worked in like 8 days. So I was like kind of
nice.
confused what the hell I was doing there. But anyway.
So, yeah, me, you, Alf from Melmac, speaking of, was there. Got to talk to him, which was awesome. Your dad was there. Got to talk to him. He complimented my wife, which he always does, which is awesome. I told him, I was like...
I hope he was appropriate.
He was like, I don't know how you did it. I still don't know how you got this woman. And I'm like, I know I don't have money, sir. I don't get it either.
Sir.
Yeah, and by the way, she almost went to the show just to see your dad. She loves Mr. Goff. In her words, I believe, I'm putting it in her words. It's not her words, but Mr. Goff is her black women to me.
Oh, jeez.
So we'll just...
Wow.
I'm kidding. I'm trying to embarrass her a little bit here.
Yeah, no. That's still great, though. Good comparison.
But anyway, so them, and then my cousin Nick was up there again. My buddy Blake and Mike the Silence from Break the Silence, and Dan Precision was up there, and Eric and Dave Machalski. Dave said he watches this show every week or something. I was like, oh man, thank you so much. I haven't seen him in so long.
He didn't even tell me that. I didn't know Dave watched the show.
Me neither. Maybe he was just being nice, but if you're watching, shout out to Dave.
Hell yeah, Matt Dusing too.
Matt Dusing, which is crazy. I talked about him on last week's episode. I haven't seen him in years. And then he parked directly in front of me when I got to the Cobra Lounge. His brother did. He parallel parked in front of me, almost hit my car. I was ready to fight people, and then the two Croatians that I know, the Dusing bros, they popped out. So that was crazy to see them too. And then randomly, Useless Dave was texting me, and I was like, I'm with Matt Dusing. He knows Matt Dusing, obviously.
Yeah, Matt, he mentioned, because I think when I saw Matt, my first thing was like, we literally just talked about you on the podcast like 2 days ago. And then I mentioned, the Useless Dave, and he got really excited. So, Dave, if you're listening, Matt still loves you. And he called you handsome, I believe.
How about the show?
Yeah,
did you mind enjoy it?
If I go, yeah, let me just go. Well, I'm going to say real quick, but I'll probably take a couple minutes. So, first of all, I'm really happy you got there like 20 seconds after Counterpunch started. Like, all of us were just like, is he coming? Is he like? I'm thinking in my head, it's like, well, I mean, he bought a ticket, but I mean, like, I wouldn't be if work's busy. I mean, like, he's done that before, where it's like I'm just not going to go. So anyway, yeah, when I saw you walk in, that was awesome. Counterpunch was awesome, like they always are. They played a really fast set. I don't mean like fast, like 30 minutes, like or less. I mean like all fast songs, and they didn't really break in between. So that was awesome.
That was my favorite part. Was that it was almost a continuous set. Like there wasn't a lot of downtime in between, and so it was just song after song. I thought they were excellent. The last couple times I've seen Counterpunch, I'm like, man, they've been so good.
It's so weird too, though, because Kyle, who lives in Denver, he keeps showing up for these shows, but the drummer is different every time. So I mean, that's probably just like a work thing or whatever. But Death by Stereo, I haven't seen probably since last time I saw these three bands together, which they talked about. I believe it was 2009. It was them three, and then This Is a Standoff. Fucking fantastic show. But anyway. Death by Stereo, still, like, Ephraim, I think he's 49 years old. They made a joke on stage about him being, like, 60, and I believed it. And then, because I was sending pictures to my wife, because she likes Death by Stereo, too, or at least used to. And so when I got home, I said that, and she's like, no, he's 49. I Googled it. But it's still just like, man, the way that guy just, like, yeah, because Mike just kept, or I'm sorry, Elf, from Melmac, he kept looking over at me, and he's like, man, he is a great showman. And it's just like, 100%. He does this thing where he like waves his arm around. He's been doing that since the first time I saw them, because that's how they stood out to me. And so they were awesome. And then
I loved him. And by the way, like right when they were about to start, you were like, was that the guy? I think it was you who asked me, was that the guy who sang for Voodoo Glow Skulls? And I looked up there and I was like, I don't know, man. The guy was wearing a mask. I don't know who you're talking about. And then they started, and you took like 2 steps ahead of me. But the second that they started, I was like, "Oh, that's definitely the guy who was for Voodoo." And by the way, he was fantastic. Like, They in general were fantastic, but showman is the right word. He's like so good at being a front man that I was like I don't understand how I don't like Death by Stereo more, especially with their live show and stuff. Like the next day, I tried listening to them, and I was like, this is it. I'm not gonna listen to them. But
Ephraim has like a very distinct voice. Like I've talked about it in the show, but he does like so he'll do that like kind of preachy, almost like Howard from Killswitch Engage type voice, and I know a lot of people just don't really like that. Musically, they're an incredible band.
Yeah.
The guy, Eric from Poor Habit, who we talked about, I don't know if he's in the band, but he was like filling in on guitar at least. But they're old guitar players in Zebrahead now. Another Dan, I forgot his last name, but hell of a fucking guitar player.
Yeah, anyway, I know him. Like I'm not even a fan of theirs, but I know him for his guitar playing. He's the dude with the mustache.
Yep, with the mustache, and he always wears the little hat.
Yeah, he's always been in like guitar magazines that I've seen, and I liked Zebrahead, some Zebrahead back in the days in Zebrahead, and excellent guitars. And so he wasn't there, but the guy from Poor Habit was, which was a surprise. Like I love Poor Habit. I don't think they're a band anymore, or if they are, they've been on a hiatus for a very long time. But yeah, I mean that guy's an amazing guitarist too. It's weird because he's like pretty and buff. And like always wears
he's like a really
shirts.
Good looking dude, and it's just like, man, where did he fall off like the modeling train? I mean, like literally, like Alf kept saying to me, he's like, he looks like John Cena, and it's just like, I mean, he's like, and then Strung Out, amazing. They played my second favorite album. The only thing though with Strung Out that kind of bummed me out is that it was so hot in that place, and I feel like by the end a lot of people had either just kind of walked out into the hallway to get air or just gone out to have smokes, because like towards the Strung Out played the album Exile in Oblivion. So it was kind of nice, actually. I was like, I'd lean over to my dad, and it's like, oh, that's song 8 out of 14. So like he knew where we were at, but then they played an encore. But it's like by that time, him and Alf were already outside, kind of like, we'll meet you out here. And it just seemed like, oh, hey guys, Strung Out's playing inside if anyone wants to catch him. And that's nothing like Alf, that's nothing against you or Dad or anything like that. It seemed more like, I think it was the weather. For one thing, because it was hot. It was hot. There. I mean, there was a couple times it was like I was kind of starting to get lightheaded.
This entire week has been insane. It's been 95 every single day. No wind, no nothing.
No.
That I was talking when Strung Out was about to start playing. I was in the back, and Matt Dusing was actually next to me, kind of. And I went to like pull him over to me to like talk to him, until the band was going to start. And as I went to pull him over, this guy walked in between me and him, and I was like, oh, look at this jerk. Not really, but, I was just kind of like, oh, sorry. And so I pulled Matt over, and then we start talking, and then that guy gets on stage, and he's the singer of Strung Out. and then I start laughing because you kind of look like, he looks like an older version of you.
Yeah, he's got the white beard just like me.
I'm like, I wonder if Goff likes Strung Out because he looks like the singer. He wanted to be a singer, and like he just imagines himself as the singer of Strung Out or something.
Joni used to be in love with that guy too, Jason Cruz.
There it is.
I mean, like he's a good looking guy too. I'll say.
And so now she got the Temu version of
yeah, there you go. Yep. This guy.
But they were great. I thought Strung Out is way more of a didn't like is a strong thing to say. I don't mind any of the bands that played that night. They all have songs that I like. They all have songs that I don't like or whatever. But I was never like really into Strung Out, and I was never really into Death by Stereo. And Strung Out is way more like up my alley of what I would like, I think. As opposed to Death by Stereo, but they both were really, really good that night. Like, even when Strung Out came up and they started, I was like, maybe I should listen to them again. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things where I don't listen to them, so you're like, man, they're really, really good. And I lasted, I don't know how long, but I'll say half the set or whatever. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna get out of here. And so when I started to walk to the back, and as I walked out of that little back room, my cousin Nick was he was out. Like he was in the back. Because
That's
he
what
was
I'm
like,
talking
it's
about.
too,
Like,
yeah,
Nick's
he was
just
like, it's
as
too
big
hot
a fan
in
as
there.
I am, and he was like, I can't. I remember
Yeah.
at one point looking back out there and seeing just hit because he's so tall, just seeing his head. But he was like 30 feet away, just like giving me that kind of look. Like, yeah, good for you, man.
Yeah, and so I was like, all right, I'm out of here. I'll see you later. And that's when Mike the Silence actually walked in. So he walked in like halfway through Strung Out.
Oh, geez.
Because he was picking two people up from the airport, two German people, completely random German people. I don't think they spoke English or whatever, but I met them. I was like, Du hast. I don't know. What do you say?
Du hast.
Yeah. And then, and so they walked in, and then I saw Jared from Counterpunch and Eric back there, and I was just like, you guys were great, and blah, blah. And then I took off, and that was it for me at Strung Out. So you stayed the whole show, though?
Yeah, they played, like I said, they played the 14 songs, and they ripped through those. Because I noticed on the I could see the set, like, schedule. And for Strung Out, it just said 9:50 to end, which is like, shows I used to go to always had, like, a deadline. So I think for this, they're just like, yeah, play your set. Like just, and the band is probably just like, shit, if we can just play it as quick as possible and get off stage. So that was cool too. It's like you didn't need to hear like stories in between. There was a couple, fun things to hear and whatnot, but these bands love doing what they do. It's just, it kind of sucks sometimes too when you're seeing these bands and they're playing in front of like 200 people. I mean, it's awesome because the place is sold out. But,
on a Tuesday, yeah.
Yeah, on a Tuesday, yeah. So you got to account for that too. But a lot of fun, man. I got to shout out El from Melmac as well too for hosting my dad and I before we went downtown, and he treated us to dinner, and we got to see his building down there that he takes care of. And I don't really want to say the name on here because I don't know if he wants me to, but I'm sure he'd be proud. But yeah, Elf, thanks again, brother. It was awesome. And you were
Very
invited
cool.
as well, Sasha, but you couldn't make it, unfortunately.
Well, you told me on the day after, so like that wasn't very cool.
That's not true.
But
That is
no,
not
I would have loved
I'm
to
telling
go,
you about it right now.
there was no way I was going to make it, unfortunately. I would have loved to. I would have absolutely loved to, but I was stuck in traffic for an hour and 20 something minutes, and that's why I walked in like when I did, like as the show was starting. That's when I walked in. And that was like the earliest possible time I could have got there. So, but yeah, excellent show. And then, so the next day, Bishop and his family came over, and Bluff came over, and my cousin Melissa, and everyone went to my parents' house. So there was like 15 of us, or I don't know how many there are, at my parents' house. That was kind of starting the like almost fest-like atmosphere festivities of the week. We got Portillo's. We were there for a couple hours. I haven't seen my cousin Nick since pre-COVID, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Like
I
it's been
either.
a very, very long time. And so when he was there and Bishop was there, it was just like Bishop didn't know Bluff was coming. That was another thing.
Oh,
so
that's
like
awesome.
When he came in, he was like, "What?" He was so surprised. So it's cool. It's just what a good week for gathering people, from out of town or whatever. Then on Thursday, me and Megan officially started the fest going activities. Our local fest started on Thursday, so we walked over there, started the day off there. On Friday, we went to Arlington Heights Frontier Days in Illinois, where Megan was in another pie eating contest, a blueberry one.
How'd we do?
Once again, disappointed the family. However, it was cool because Nick and Melissa and Don and all these people came out too. So and Jesse, I haven't seen Jesse in forever.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so everybody came out and like cheered her on. And my cousin Nick, he's like starting stuff with the other contestants. There was one guy, the guy who won. This is the 7th year in a row that he's won. And you look at him, and he's just like skinny and like in very good shape, and just destroys the pie with his face. He was like licking the table. I'm like, that table was literally face down on the ground right before he did not care. He threw it down. Megan made us proud. She got in there and her entire face was blue. She blew herself. But yeah, it was very, very, it was fun. It wasn't too hot, but I mean, every day was kind of hot, but it had its ups and downs. Then we came home, ended up going back to our local fest that night, I think. I don't know. There's so many of them she makes me go to. It's insane. She was going to be my number one least favorite part of 4th of July just for making me go to all these festivals. In the end, it ends up being fine or whatever. But so Friday night, we watched fireworks from our sunroom. We have like the perfect view or whatever. Maybe not perfect.
Oh, that's great. But
awesome. It was an okay view. Then Saturday, my buddy Dogan wanted to meet up with his wife and kid. So we went to our fest again, third time, during the day at like 1 o'clock. It was very, very hot. Then we went out to dinner with Nick because he was going back to Denver. So I got to see a lot of Nick, which was great. I was hoping to see him many times, and we did. We got some Mexican food. And then back to another fest. We went to Hoffman Fest, fourth. I don't even know what it's called. Like, I'm having a heat stroke right now.
Yeah.
Megan kept telling me to invite you and Joni and the kids to this one, and I was like, yeah, I'll get to it. I never got to it. I'm inviting you right now for next year's fest if you guys want to go.
We'll be there.
But honestly, you're not fest people in my mind because you're constantly wearing tuxedos anytime I see you. So I don't see you going to fest normally. That being said, we were stuck in the parking lot for like an hour after this thing. We got there at like 8:30. The thing was at 9:30. Seventh Heaven was playing, which you know my feelings on Seventh Heaven.
You love them.
So I'm glad I didn't invite you because I don't think you would have, like, it would have been a tough thing to be there, and I don't want to put that on you and your children and your wife. You know what I mean? Like, I'll handle the burden, but of course I'm making the decision for you. So like, my bad on all of that. But I did want to say let me ask, would you guys have gone? You're not fest people.
Well, Hoffman Estates Fest
is on
my bucket list, so yeah, I would have gone. The cynical me was like, no, fuck it, we hate fest. But I mean, you never know. I mean, no one ever invites us anywhere, so I don't know how to answer that. Yeah,
more on that later then. I apologize. I do feel bad for not at least
totally
inviting
fine.
you guys.
No, in all honesty, it probably
know.
would have just been me and like one of the kids, maybe Nat.
That's fine. And there's a whole lot of it's me being grumpy all week and like being dragged to all these places and heat and I'm grumpy.
And you're telling Megan too. You're like, I already talked to this guy enough weekly. I don't need.
I'm like, I talked to him last week. It was on Meets. I don't need to talk to him again. Yeah. So anyway, that was yesterday. They have a good fireworks thing and blah blah blah. And then today, thank God it rained and everything was canceled because we were going to go to another fest today. But one funny thing about that fest on Saturday. So I always see this guy at Goodwill. He kind of looks like your friend Dennis, the painter who has my hoodie.
Okay. Yeah.
Very similar. Very similar look to this guy. And I see him at every Goodwill I ever go to. Like, I've seen him so many times. And it's crazy because if I've ever seen anybody else that many times, I would say something because I know that they know me by this point. So I'll say something and be like, hey, you again. You're here. You know, like, even if I don't know them. But I've never said a word to this guy. But we've locked eyes many times. And so, like, seen him all over the place. And not for any reason, just like I haven't talked to him. And I brought him up for some reason recently to Megan this week or whatever. Well, we end up seeing him last night at the fest. There's thousands and thousands of people at this massive, massive fest. And he ends up walking literally right by us. Oh, we saw him at our local fest the night before. So that's how it was. I pointed him out and I told her the story about this guy, how I always see him everywhere, but I've never talked to him. Next night, totally different town, far away, we see him again. And he literally walked right by us. We walked past each other. And I was like, what are the odds we're walking past each other here in front of all these thousands of people at this time? Whatever. So we keep walking. We go. We sit down. We find a curb to sit on because we forgot to bring chairs. Whatever. It doesn't matter. We sit down. The fireworks start. We're enjoying. He comes back from a completely different side of the park with his family and sits 6 feet in front of us. Wow. Out of this entire massive land, the Now Arena in Hoffman Estates, if you've ever been there, it's an arena and it's just land everywhere. And he sits 6 feet away from us, and I tell Megan, I go, that's him again. This is unbelievable. Like, he's everywhere. Then, and she's like, does he know you? I'm like, he knows me. You don't see a person this much and not know them. And then the final straw was like him and his family they wanted to take a picture with the fireworks. So they turned to take a selfie. So he literally turned and was facing us.
Oh,
We're
God.
6 feet away from the guy, and Megan's laughing, and I'm just trying to look away because this is not going to be the time where I'm like, hey, goodwill guy, what's going on? You know what I mean? Like, he's with his family.
Yeah, you're finally like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm Sasha.
So I was like, the only thing that we could possibly do that's funnier is like we just walk right in front of them, and in between the fireworks, we take a selfie with him in the background of us, just like nothing to do with the fireworks, just with him in the background. But it's just insane, the coincidence of seeing this guy so much and all over the place. And yeah, so that's
When you said he turned around and you guys like made eye contact, it just made me think of the Door County cherry guy. The ice cream.
Yeah.
It's like, have you had the Door County cherry?
We were at that ice cream place the other night, and as we walk in, I go, the Door County cherry. Like, it's just commonplace now at this point. But yeah.
Hell yeah.
So
yeah,
that was the
actually,
week.
that's a busy week like you always have. We actually had some family over today, which was kind of nice. And it's all, Joni's sister-in-law, my brother-in-law came over, and then her cousin and his wife. And it's always weird. I hate saying her cousin and his wife because, like, I feel like, is cousin-in-law a thing? Like, do you say that? So I'm making that a thing. But anyway, yeah, I mean, like, whenever we have people over, it's either Natalie's birthday or Sadie's birthday. So it was kind of nice having people over where we didn't have to sing happy birthday to anyone. My sister-in-law, and they brought their little dog over. They got one of those, like, little, I don't know, it's like not a Dachshund. I forgot what the hell kind, but it's like it's very small, long body, like a wiener, but he's got, like, long hair. Awesome dog, so little. Lucy was really good with everyone. Like, we couldn't believe it. I don't know if she was just distracted by the other dog, but we had to let her out, because whenever we have people over, she just has to go up into the bedroom. And I feel even worse when there's another dog in the house and we're keeping her locked up. So it's like, we wanted to get the two dogs together just to see how she'd be because she's really good with other dogs. And sure enough, she was fine. So it was awesome. And everyone was just sitting at the kitchen table, and they all know when they're over. It's just like, just kind of ignore her. Just let her sniff you, whatever, and that's how it was. And then eventually she just kind of walked back upstairs and was just like laying down. It was like, holy shit, can this work? So, I mean, like, yeah, you guys will meet her soon, hopefully, and it'll probably just be like, yeah, just don't talk to her, but just like observe, and we'll see how it goes.
I'm totally gonna mess up the instructions and get bit by your dog, but that's okay.
Oh God, you can sign a waiver beforehand, or if you get bit by my dog, then the only rational thing to do is let Callie bite me.
Yeah, I'm in. Yeah. See which dog bites harder.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
That's good, man.
That's quality
Lucy's
content.
Pitbull jaws. That is quality content. Almost as good as us ending every episode with just slapping each other.
That is pretty good too. That starts next week, right?
Yes, next week. So,
yeah.
But yeah,
how's Lucy with fireworks?
She's perfect. She's like no problems at all.
It's messed up.
I don't even think she notices, but I don't know. We'll talk about it a little bit more with our list, but I mean, like, the fireworks really aren't that bad by us.
So do you guys go anywhere? Do any sort of fest thing at all?
No. Nothing? I mean, like, I know we're lame asses now, and like my kids, they don't really, I don't think they care as much. Like, we used to go over by my in-laws and we would watch the Glen Ellen fireworks on the 4th. From their deck. They had like a perfect, like, through the trees view. And this year it was just kind of like, I don't know. No one was really feeling it. And again, the weather, it's just been hot, and it was like, so.
I envy that so much.
You'll get there, my friend. You will get there.
All right, anything else you got for this week, or should we move on to our thumbs up, thumbs down?
Let's move on.
All right, thumbs up, thumbs down. The stuff that we're watching, the stuff that we're reading, the stuff that we're listening to, we give it a thumbs up, thumbs down. I've got 2 thumbs downs for you, my friend.
Ooh, okay.
Now, I rarely bring the thumbs down. I'm a positive person. You meet anybody, they go, oh, you mean Sasha? He's the most positive person I know. HIV and otherwise, JK. First and foremost, I watched a movie called Fool's Paradise. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
Tell me who's in it, and I'll tell you if I've heard of it.
2023, Charlie Day from Always Sunny.
Okay.
And he plays like a guy who's like dumb and doesn't speak and gets thrust into the world of Hollywood where he becomes this big actor. Wait, do you mean
dumb like stupid or dumb like, sorry, can't talk, like literally can't talk, like deaf and dumb, you know?
Yeah, like...
I'm sorry, I don't know if that's the proper way to say it, but my daughter's
yeah, and I don't even know how to
so
answer, like both.
Okay.
Like both, yeah. It's like sometimes he understands what they're telling him, sometimes he doesn't, but he doesn't talk at all during the entire movie. Or at least
No. What I meant, like, not like Andy Dwyer, dumb. That's what I wasn't sure if you meant, like he's an idiot. Or is that...
Yes.
Okay. Oh, okay, yes. I guess it is. Double entendre. All right. Love it.
I don't know, but anyway, so he's in it. Ray Liotta, Adrian Brody, Jason Sudeikis, Ken Jeong, Edie Falco... Wow. Everybody from Always Sunny is in it. This is the directing debut of Charlie Day. Okay. And it's like a well-produced movie. It looks really good and all that stuff. And I was excited to watch it because I like a lot of those people, and especially the Always Sunny people. It had moments here or there, but it just dragged on very, very long. To the point where I don't remember how long this movie was, but if it was 90 minutes, I made it to the 80-minute mark. And I was watching with Megan, and both of us were like, should we just turn this off? We didn't finish the movie. We watched 8/9 of the movie, and we couldn't finish it.
Is a great fraction.
and like,
but that's so good. I just love the. Should we turn this off?
Yeah, it just was not maybe what we had hoped for or whatever. So yeah, that's disappointing because I really would have. I was really like thinking it was going to be a good movie. And I did not like it.
Great
so thumbs
cast.
down.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
Yeah. Thumbs. There's even more people, by the way, like John Malkovich. Did I mention him? Common. No. like there's more people who are in this movie. And then my other thumbs down. You might have to sway me otherwise.
Okay.
But I just today finished The Bear season 4.
Okay. I had a feeling that's what it was going to be.
Yeah, and I don't want to say you ruined it because you did not ruin it, at least not for me. But me and Megan, we both watched this, you know. And I was like, okay, well, he says it's the greatest thing. I'm not going to take that into consideration. I'm going to watch this on my own and figure out if I like it or not. And then, like, by 7 episodes in, I was like, is the 8th episode the good one? And then the 9th, and then the 10th, and then I was like, maybe there's an 11th episode that I just don't know about or whatever. So I need to know, because I almost called in our own hotline today to leave an angry message for
that
you.
Would have been awesome.
I was gonna call it going off on Goff. Like that's our hotline. Go off on Goff. Anything you disagree with Goff, you call our hotline. And if you agree with me, you email us, sasaandgoff@gmail.com.
Actually, this is a great time to bring up some of our other listener and fan. Remember, Suggestions was one you talked about. I had another one where we could have useless dates with Useless Dave, where he just talks about days or dates in his life that sucked, whether it's a date like a calendar date or a date he went on. But
bring in all the people who listen to us, all 8 of them. You all have your own segment from here on out.
Yes, all 8 of them.
So all right, last week you weren't going to talk because of spoiler situations and stuff like that. We're saying right now, if you don't want to hear things about The Bear season 4, fast forward about 5 minutes. Because we're going to talk about it, and Goff's going to try and tell me what he liked about this, and I'm gonna be open-minded to it because I didn't hate this season, but I just didn't find too much in it. So go ahead.
All right. So first off, when I was listening to last week's episode, I did say to myself, "Holy shit, I'm overselling this big time because I'm making it sound like it was the greatest thing ever." So I'm going to pull back a little bit and stop saying, like, yeah, this is one of the greatest seasons of TV. I think I got done watching it that day, so I was still on a high from watching it. Okay. I really enjoyed the fact that it wasn't chaotic. I know that that's one of the big things about the show, but I liked that it was normal. I liked that I didn't hate Jamie Lee Curtis this season. She was in like 3 episodes, and every time I saw her, I'm just like, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, and it never did. So I was happy to see that.
Okay.
I'm pretty bummed that the season ended. Again, it was another cliffhanger where we're just like, well, what the fuck? Because they did this thing with this clock, which was really cool. I thought the idea of the clock was awesome, having that going the entire season.
Yeah.
But again, it's just like last season with Sydney, where they're like, you still don't know if she's with them or if she's leaving. Another thing that I know I'm supposed to be talking about what I liked about it. Just thinking back more on it, I didn't like that there was very little Richie and Carmi interaction, like really at all, and they still like hate each other, and it's just still kind of like, this is just kind of stupid at this point. I love Ibrahim, his story, the guys that are running the beef part of the bear, like just because they're kind of like underdeveloped characters, and I wish they would show him a little bit more. I like that character. I think it's Ibrahim or Abraham, whatever his name is.
Yeah, you're right, Ibrahim.
Yeah. And then the wedding episode, which was kind of funny because it was the wedding, but they didn't show the wedding. You love Josh Hartnett, and I'm not a big fan of Brie Olson, but I thought she was hysterical. Her and Elliot, what's her name? Abby Elliott, right?
Yeah.
All how many fuck you, you fucked me, all that stuff. So
I
really
together.
enjoyed that. Yeah, and like. The other thing, though, with those two brothers, the Fack brothers, like, I didn't like how over the top it was with the one. How it was like, oh, my little baby boy. Like, everyone kept calling him, like, well, what's wrong, my little... Like, I understand that was kind of, like, in the other seasons, but this season it got a little weird. I just thought it was too, like, oh, what's wrong, my little baby boy? You know, shit like that. But, no, I think that the main thing was Carmi also just kind of being a different person. It wasn't the same thing from every other season, just him yelling at everyone. And I don't need Claire back on the show. I don't need the girlfriend, but that's fine. I mean, like, where we're at least. But yeah, so that was my biggest gripe with the show, is just, again, where we're kind of left off. And it's like, stop doing this shit. And then and I love that they put everything out at the same day, but like, we're gonna be done talking about this show in a week. You know, this could have been 10 weeks of, like, everyone just, like, still talking about the bear, you know? So I love that they drop everything at once, but it kind of kills it for them, you know, for buzz about the show, so.
Yeah, that's, like, the big question that people always have. How many do you put out at once? Do you put out half a season and then do it again? Or do you put out one at a time? But then people get mad because they can't binge it. I'm glad they put out all 10, because I feel like this is a show that I don't want to wait for on a weekly basis. I just kind of want to see where it heads. But this season, I felt, was a lot like the last one, where it kind of dragged on for me. Like, it wasn't a ton of, like, new things happening. It was, and they do this thing where they always have, like, a two-person, two people talking, and it's a very long scene and a lot of drama and good acting and whatever. But I feel like that makes the episode feel even longer, because, like, it'll be like 6 minutes of a 30-minute episode is just one thing where two people are talking, and it's not always the greatest in the world. You looking exactly like Richie is really ruining this for me.
That's funny.
Every time he's on the screen, me and Megan, like, we can't take the show seriously because we're like, there's Goff again. Like, what's he gonna do?
That's the funny thing too, because that haircut, whatever that he has, and, like, obviously, I always have, like, the beard and, like, mustache, but he has that haircut that I hate after I get my head shaved. That's, like, the in-between phase when you're trying to grow it back. So Richie, he looks good in that suit, but he always looks, like, unkept, because, like, like me, like, I hate shaving. So that is hilarious. Like, anyone, like, I was gonna put it on Instagram, I forgot, but Sasha took a picture of his TV, and it was a picture from the bear. It was Josh Hartnett talking to Iban Moss-Bacharach, who plays Richie, and then he just put our logo over it, Sasaandgoff Live, and sent it to me. And it took me a second because I was like, wait, our episode doesn't come. Oh! Because, like, yeah, Sasha will always send me the artwork so I can put it on Instagram. So, like, yeah, when you sent it to me on a Saturday, it was like, wait, what the hell? Oh, that's fantastic. Like, yeah, I showed it to Joni, and she doesn't watch The Bear, but just looking at the picture, she knew Josh Hartnett. But, yeah, the other one, it's just like, oh, my God, that's totally you.
Yeah, and I always compare myself to Josh Hartnett because I, too, was more attractive when I was younger. See what I did there?
Yeah, I did.
Ripped Josh Hartnett.
See me agreeing?
No. By the way, I love Josh Hartnett. Megan's, like, not a big fan, and I'm like, this guy's great, but I've only seen him in like Oppenheimer and this or whatever. Like, I don't know anything he's ever done.
He was in an M. Night Shyamalan movie within the last year, and it was fucking terrible. Like, I like Josh Hartnett too. He's in one of my favorite horror movies, which is 30 Days of Night. But like, yeah, this movie, it was called
He was also in 40 Days and 40 Nights with Shannon Sosa.
That was also very good. Yep.
Yeah.
That was a very sexy movie.
I think he is in a new like action movie that came out that's like filming a little bit different. I just don't remember the name of it offhand. But I like to see his resurgence. I like that guy. Yeah, so anyway, that's it about the Bears. So thumbs down from me. I shouldn't say thumbs down. I would say more thumbs in the middle. There was no thumbs up. It was just kind of like, we had another season. They said there's already going to be another season. Season 5 will be coming out. And so whatever, we'll see how it goes.
It can end. I'm totally fine if the damn show ends after this next season. I'd be happy with that. Another thing too, actually, with Al from Melmac, where his place of work where he showed us, actually the Bear is filmed like right behind them. Kind of cool.
Wow.
Like, I remember him sending me pictures of them filming like over the summer and stuff. All right, so I got two things. I got a thumbs up and a thumbs down. I'll quickly start with the thumbs down. This one goes out to a dear friend of the show, Dogan, who gave me this recommendation, actually, and he was like really excited for me to watch this. It was an episode of a TV show, or a TV series, I guess, called Cabinet of Curiosities, which is on Netflix. It's like a horror anthology show. And Dogan, I love you, buddy, and obviously this isn't like a what the fuck, but I watched this thing and was like, what the hell was the point? Why did he get so excited about this? And he told me he really liked it just because of how bizarre it was, and it was really fucking bizarre. It had a cool cast, though, like Eric Andre, Charlene Yee, Steve Agee, and Peter Weller, who's RoboCop. It was, I don't know, it was just a really weird-ass episode, and I don't even have to get into the details, but Dogan, you know what I'm talking about, so I'm sorry, buddy, but that was a thumbs down. Also, moving forward, if anyone wants us to review stuff, just tell us. That'll be fun.
Yeah, we'll watch anything.
Totally.
I had a corn glizzy with Dogan yesterday at the fest.
Nice.
It was nice.
You got to take pictures, man. I could put them on the Instagram.
I got him. I'll send you one. His
cool.
corn glizzy was significantly larger than mine, and it made me sad. But then he was going on rides, and I was like, I got to get out of here.
All right, so that was a thumbs down. And then the other thing, this was just, I've been watching them because I never watched them before, and it's the Office Superfan episodes, which are on Peacock. They're like the extended, it's basically every episode with the deleted scenes just put in where they belong. So it's pretty incredible that they did this. I mean, they took the time to do it, and it's a big deal because it's every episode, and they've got 8 of the seasons done so far. So, I mean, before I thought it was one of those things where it's like, oh, okay, like there's an extended episode. It's like every single episode is anywhere from like a minute to like 10 minutes longer. So that's good, and it can be bad, though, watching some of them, because some of the stuff they cut out, you can totally tell why they cut it out. But then there's other things where it's like, man, how did that get cut, but that stayed in? Yeah, it's just a lot of fun, and those are on Peacock. So, yeah, I didn't have a ton of stuff. So that's a thumbs up, though, because I love The Office. So, and then, actually, Shug sent me a text earlier this week, and he just said the new movie Nosferatu sucked. That's all he said. So I was like, all right, buddy. Sounds good. Thanks for the input.
Who plays Nosferatu?
No idea. I don't know. Willem Dafoe, maybe? Or did he play him at some point? I don't know. It was I think an A24 movie, and like I think it got pretty good reviews, but when he told me it sucked, I was like, yeah, I had zero interest in watching it, so.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, think you should. That takes us to our top 3 favorite and least favorite things about the 4th of July. This week was definitely a refresher course in that for me. Helped me remember some things that I like or didn't like.
I love your dedication to the show. Megan said last week at one point that you do a lot of research for the show. This hot man, you're just like, you know what, we got to get there in person. Did you have your clipboard or your little memo pad? You're writing down
just
what's
my
good
notes,
and bad about?
Just my notes in my phone. I've been keeping stuff. I mean, I constantly do.
I do too.
I printed out the jokes portion of my notes on my phone, like just straight to my printer, and it was 50 pages of jokes.
Wow,
it's crazy.
That's pretty awesome, though.
Not one good one. Not one single good joke.
Not one
but
to
anyway,
write home about, huh?
Do you want to start with our top 3 least favorite or favorite?
Let's do top.
All right, top 3 favorite things about the 4th of July. I will start things off with my number 3, and that is fireworks-related injuries. I
favorite,
love them. Absolute favorite, because they happen to the people that I'd love them to happen to most. Right? I mean, like, all right, sometimes they don't happen. Sometimes they happen to innocent people or whatever. But generally, the people who losing thumbs, it's like amateurs and whatever. I'm not talking about stuff that happens at a show and something goes horrifically wrong or whatever. I'm talking about the guy who has more DUIs than fingers and, like, shouldn't be allowed to have fireworks, right? Like, there should be a law. There should be something. And when something happens to that person, it just makes me feel a little warm and fuzzy inside, you know? So that's my number 3.
Love it. Are you one of those people who comments on social media? You're like, play dumb games, get dumb prizes.
Yes.
You're like, yes, I'm going to become that guy.
All
right. No, that's a great answer. My number 3 is time off. Just because no matter what, we always get like an extra day besides the 4th, and they'll try to, like, even if it's on a Saturday, they'll give us the Friday off, whatever. And it's a great time of year, just, because I'm allowed to take a lot of time off during the summer. So like I said before, I worked like one day out of the last 8. So this time of year is just, it's nice. And then, it's kind of like Thanksgiving. I get a long break there, but I always love the 4th of July for the time off I get. So
I love that you had so much time off and you didn't go to anything. And I literally only had Friday the 4th off, and I was forced to go to a week's worth of festivities.
Yeah. I got a lot done in the yard though. So I was making that look good. A lot of trips to Lowe's for mulch.
Nice.
So, yeah.
My number 2 is the trash food options. It's all about trash food for the 4th of July, whether it's barbecues, whether it's festivals. Even our local festival, they had Venezuelan food. Tried that for the first time ever. You can get any sort of food. They always have that weird stand that's like not an actual restaurant. It's just like a board that has a bunch of stuff written. It'll be like corn dogs, hamburgers, corn. And you're like, what's the name of this establishment? You guys have a license to be here?
It's like, just called restaurant.
Yeah, nobody's wearing hairnets. Like, nobody's got the same uniform on. Everybody's sweating into the open pit of mac and cheese. Like, I can see it. But you know what? Pretty good. Still tastes pretty good.
You lick your lips.
Yes, absolutely. So love all the food options. And then even if you're not going to a fest, like if you're just hanging out somewhere, barbecuing, throw some glizzies on the dizzy. Do what you got to do,
Shouldn't it be like some glizzies on the grizzy?
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to do it at the exact
t-shirts.
time. And
T-shirts. Good one.
By the way, get the new "Everything is a Scam" T-shirt available at sasaandgoff.com.
Can you put like our logo on there somewhere? I mean, I still love the shirt, but I mean, like,
good call. Yeah,
I feel like that would be the one that people are gonna buy. So it's like, get it in there somewhere.
Maybe I'll just put sasaandgoff.com in very small letters underneath.
Works for
something.
me.
It's something.
All right, so my number 2 is kind of similar to yours. I just wrote down, like for me, for someone who's a lame ass, I still love a 4th of July party, get together, whatever. And usually, like, our get-togethers are me, Joni, and my kids. But we'll do, I mean, like, I try to, like, water balloons, big-ass water guns, shit like that, just throughout the day where we can just kind of go out, like, another thing with, like, parties and just, I don't know, I'm thinking of going to, like, my parents and stuff. I love having baseball on in the background on the 4th of July. It just, baseball to me is, like, the symbol. Now it makes me cry when I think of baseball because how much I hate the Sox and how terrible they are. I don't hate them, but no, I mean, just like thinking of baseball just reminds me of summer and how, yeah, like the weather is tough, but it's like still I'll take this over winter any day. But yeah, I mean, like just barbecuing, having sports on, just, yeah, again, like not really having much to do on the 4th of July. I love just like, it's kind of a day of just like chaos. Cool. I don't know why just the 4th of July, but
my number 1 is like it's kind of a combination, but it's like neighborhood parties / gathering of friends. Like if you're ever walking to a fest or if you live close to a fest, there's always those houses that there's just like 30 people at. Kids are running around, everybody's having a good time, people are drinking, people are eating. And you're like, wow, I don't have any place that, like, I don't have friends that do this, so it's always cool to see that there's, like, a
somewhere
large group.
In the world people have friends.
Yeah, it really is. It's kind of like, oh, wow, I've seen this on television before where a lot of people gather at someone's home. That's amazing. Because, and thinking about that on my end, it's like, I was lucky enough to see some people, but then half of me, I already told you, I didn't invite you. And I'm like, and that's just me being like a curmudgeon or whatever. And then thinking about that, like all my other buddies who like live in the area, not only did I not call them, but nobody calls me for anything. Like if I don't set things up, none of my friends are doing anything. Everybody's just staying at home, touching their glizzies or whatever they're doing.
Jesus.
But you know what I'm saying? Like nobody's getting together. And then there's the thing where it's like, oh, well, I can just have people at my house, right? That's the thing. I'll invite everybody. Well, I got this dog, and the dog's going to bite. Now I got to keep the dog in the house. Our air conditioning's barely holding on. And so it's just like, it's better to not do anything. So when you actually walk by and you see a neighborhood party, 50 people who don't care that there's dogs biting children behind them, there's something really nice about that. And I hope to be a part of it one day. So.
We'll get you there, bud.
Yeah.
All right. So my number 1. All right, man. 4th of July. We got to talk about the movies, baby. We got Independence Day, one of my favorite, alien movies. Jaws. The Sandlot. The Sandlot isn't like... Now, none of these movies, obviously, they're like 4th of July based except Independence Day, but they take place, around then. And then even a movie that kind of sucked, actually, but it had... 2 of the biggest babes of the 2000s, Sarah Michelle Gellar and Jennifer Love Hewitt. And that is I Know What You Did Last Summer. Obviously, I'm not talking about this remake shit that I think came out maybe this on the 4th. I don't know. But yeah, have you seen... All right, so Independence Day, Jaws. I know you've seen The Sandlot. Independence Day or Jaws. Have you seen those?
No, neither one of them.
Neither?
No.
Wow. Jaws was a late addition to my, I guess, my movie collection. I don't know, whatever. Which I actually just saw it for the first time probably 3 years ago. Okay. And Jaws, the original Jaws, still holds up. It's an awesome movie, and I think you guys would like it a lot because it's not over the top scary, but it is, it's intense, and there's a couple jump scares. But for a movie that was made in the 70s or 80s, whenever the hell it was, I think it really holds up well, and it looks good still. So I think you should definitely check it out.
Yeah, that's one that's kind of been on my list just because it's obviously a classic or whatever. I just haven't gotten around to it. There's actually a movie called 4th of July that features Joe List, who's like one of my favorite comedians. Mm-hmm. And I think it was partially paid for or maybe fully paid for by Louis C.K., okay. It has a lot of comedians in the movie as well, but it's like a Joe List written movie. That came out a couple years ago. That's the only thing I think of when you say 4th of July movies. Like, I wouldn't even know that Jaws was a 4th of July movie. Sandlot, if you say that's 4th of July, it kind of makes sense to me, but I it would not have come to mind if you didn't bring it up.
Yeah. Independence Day, different story. Obviously, the name says it all.
Yeah.
Will Smith, who slapping people or not, I don't care. I'm still a Will Smith fan, and I love Jeff Goldblum. Those two are like the main guys. It's an awesome cast, and I mean it's a fun just summer movie. So, for potent notables, I'm gonna save those because my potent notables are the same for my top and my bottom.
Okay.
So,
all right. I don't have
a first for Sasha and Goff live recorded. All right, let me start with my bottom 3 then. Okay. We've been talking about this all episode. The weather. So it's July. It's the dead of summer in the Chicagoland area. The 4th of July, as fun as it is, I love being at barbecues and like you said, like seeing huge parties of 50 people. It still sucks when it's like 95 degrees and it's humid and like the party you're at maybe doesn't have a pool. And it's what you always feel bad when you're at a party where they're trying to keep people outside because like going in and out, obviously, that's annoying. But it is what it is.
Because I've never been to one.
Get there. All right, let me explain to you. So air conditioning is no, but yeah, it's so if it's not 85 or 90 degrees and like super humid, it's raining. So yeah, the weather sucks.
Yeah,
in July.
Weather. Yesterday was kind of nice at night. It started to get windy, and it was only
because
like
this morning
82.
was really nice.
Yeah. And it was raining and like gray, and I love it. But yeah, every other day, 95 and disgusting. My number 3 least favorite thing of the 4th of July is the lack of technological advancements in fireworks.
That's great. That's an awesome one.
I liked fireworks when I was like 7 or 8, maybe 9. And then at some point, before you hit the double digits, you got to start questioning, why is it always the same? Why is this the only thing that no one's improving on this?
When is the sequel coming out?
Yeah, and you're like, oh, there's white with a little bit of bright orange or dull orange even. Like, okay. Now, the ones that look like boobs, okay, that's nice.
Yeah, it's a different story.
Nice. But the rest of them, it's like, I mean, can we type somebody's name in there? Well, like, give me something else. It's been the same show forever, and that's why I just like don't care about fireworks whatsoever. Now, I've heard of these drone shows. I've seen videos of drone shows, but that's a completely different thing. That's not an advancement in technology of fireworks.
So is that
I'm talking the thing you light, the thing that goes off into the air. Yeah. Why does it look the same as it did in 1940? You think I'm going to believe that we got to the moon and we can't change the fireworks situation? That's my 4th of July. If you invite me to a party, I'm not going to have these thoughts. If you invite me to your party, I'll be in the pool. I'll be splashing people. Anyway.
Okay. That's great. All right, my number 2 is... this is, I don't know, kind of low-hanging fruit, I guess, but annoying 4th of July sales, like Mattress Firm, things like that. I don't know why I've always hated companies that have their sales on, like, Memorial Day and shit like that. And it's always, like, car dealerships or mattress places. So, I don't know why. It's just, like, such a dumb thing, and it's just like... Yeah, on the 4th of July, I'm going to go buy a mattress.
It's the last thing you want to be doing. It's the very last thing.
Yeah,
I don't even think mattress stores are real. They're like birds or whatever. Like, I don't know. It's a toss-up.
Yeah. All right, what's your number 1 then?
My number 2 is...
Your 2? I'm sorry. Oh, you're right. I went first.
My How I Feel. That's my number 2. And this is because of a lot of things, right? So, like you brought up the heat, I'm overheated. I brought up the food. I'm overeating. I am covered completely with bug spray and then a layer of suntan lotion.
And sweat.
And sweating completely all over the place. Not only because of the hot weather, but because I'm walking a mile to and from a fest. Every fest I go to, because we either park somewhere or we're walking to our local one, and it's just I'm completely sweating. And so my proposition here is I think we should change the 4th of July to May 7th. Hear me out. May 7th, it's not 95 degrees out.
Okay.
May 7th, it's my wife's birthday.
Right.
2 birds, 1 stone.
Nice.
2 birds, 1 stone. And that's about it. We're all about rewriting history in this country. So, like, we can just say that it happened May 7th. That we
Fuck it, let's do it. All right, next year we are celebrating the 4th of July on May 7th.
May 7th, yes. The birth of a nation.
Awesome.
And so, yeah, so that's it. So just, like, overall how I feel by the end of this week, that's my number 2. Should be my number 1, but it's my number 2, which just goes to show you how bad my number 1 is.
Okay. All right. Well, my number 1, probably not as bad as your number 1. And I don't want people to take this the wrong way because I don't want to offend anyone if they are one of these people, but it's like firework enthusiasts. I guess, like the people, this is more so just the people who are lighting off fireworks at fucking midnight or like 1 a.m. I hate that because it's like those are always the people that are like, yeah, it's the 4th. And it's like, yeah, you don't have dogs or kids or whatever. And like I have a lot of, like my brother, he loves fireworks. I know it, but it's like I don't go to their parties because it's like I cannot support this. That and I just, I don't think they have parties anymore. But no, and like I said earlier in the show, this year for us was great. I don't think I heard any fireworks past like 9:30, and those were probably like the village ones.
Wow.
I remember COVID in 2020. That was probably, it was like the Wild West. And where we were living at the time, we had a giant park, like just an open park right in front of our house. There were like 3 or 4 cars that just drove there and backed up and just started blowing shit up like out of the back of their car. And then it's like, of course, the next morning that shit's everywhere. All the bottle rocket things, so... I guess just like people not cleaning up their shit either, so I gotta... Ugh.
So that's your number 1?
That's my number 1. Yeah, it's just like the just assholes.
And I have a different word for it because my number 1, and unlike you, I do want to offend these people, and I bet you that half the people who listen to this show are these people.
They definitely are. Shug, I'm looking at you.
My number 1 is amateur fireworks enthusiasts. I'm using the word amateur. You use the word enthusiast, and I'm combining the two together.
Okay. Love it.
I know you guys listen to us. I think you're an asshole when you do this stuff. Look, I love you. I love all of you, each and every single one of you. I'll give you a hug, and I mean it. I mean the hug. But those are asshole tendencies. And you already listed the things. Loud. It's way too loud. If you got fireworks and you're doing it and it's fine, okay. If you got the ones that don't they don't emit light, all they do is make loud noises. People are scared, car alarms go off, dogs run away, like just a loud boom. That's not a firework.
Yeah, and that's the shit too. It's like it's a fucking loud bang. That's all it is. And it's just like, oh, cool.
That's it. You're not even looking at anything. That's number 1. Number 2, if you're one of the people who does it late, and not only you do it late, but you're like, I don't give a shit because it's the 4th and we're celebrating. Yeah. You don't even like America the rest of the year. Why are you pretending to like America on this day? Yeah. And then for me, late is past midnight, right? Like I can take it up until midnight, but those times when you hear it 2 a.m. and then somebody does one of those loud ones, you're like, who hurt you, child? Who hurt you?
And then, like in most cases, the person's fucking loaded. But still, it's just like, come on, someone's got to...
And then the debris. The debris scares me because I'm afraid, we've talked about it before, I'm afraid of my house being set on fire all the time. Yeah. That's a constant thing in my life. And we have neighbors who blow off fireworks, and then the next morning there's like stuff on my roof, and there's stuff on my driveway, which, whatever, it's not good. But... The point is, I see the stuff, and if you're an idiot who's doing that stuff, you're not paying attention to, is it safe? You're just blowing it off and be like, that's the noise you make. Whether internally or externally, that's the noise you make. And then that thing lands on my house, and you're not the kind of person who's going to be like, oh, I should go tell them. You're going to be like, oh, shit, everybody hide. We're setting this person's house on fire. I'm not going to leave it up to you to be like Mr. Good Conscience when you're blowing stuff up and being an asshole. And so, so number one for me, amateur firework enthusiast, my least favorite part. And listen, I love that you guys listen to the show. Thank you. I appreciate it. Please welcome back. You're welcome anytime. You're welcome to my home. Just I
think I'm gonna put that actually on the Instagram as part of our title. We are amateur firework enthusiasts. We're not professional firework enthusiasts quite yet. We're still ams. We're not getting paid yet.
Check out the new T-shirt coming this week, amateur firework enthusiast.
Hell yeah!
With very small underneath sasaandgoff.com. That's it. Yeah.
All right, so my potent notables, like I said, they're both for the top and bottom. The first one is just, carnivals / fests that happen just throughout the summer and, the 4th of July. We've talked about a lot of this stuff. Like, the rides are, a lot of fun, but they're, incredibly dangerous and, just, shady as hell.
Yeah.
And then, the food, obviously, like you talked about. And you know me. You guys, all the listeners know I'm a carnival food guy. Pizza, burgers, tacos, the stuff you could only find at carnivals. So the food's great, but again, everything's fucking fried. So it's just all right. And I do love fried chips. And then this is an obscure one, but I thought of it right before we started recording, and it was I don't know if they still do it anymore, but GH Summer, well, they do the Summerfest, obviously, but, the ride, remember the Thunderbolt? For instance, I loved the DJs, the guy that would be welcome to the Thunderbolt. And then you would hear, Motley Crue, girls, 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 or something like that. It was always the same, 3 or 4 songs. But I just loved to be come on to the Thunderbolt. And then, the Gravitron, like that. So I love Fest for that. I don't know why. It's it's cheesy and it's annoying, but it's so awesome.
Yeah, that's a core childhood memory, that guy's voice.
It's just, hearing the guy talk about the Thunderbolt. And then, you kind of talked about this, we kind of talked about this too. Fireworks in general. Yeah, we talked about, how they're good and they're bad. I mean, just the whole, thing, though, whoever designed fireworks and figure out that that's what's going to happen when it blows up is still, damn, that's impressive. Or how they figure out how to put this shit together that it's going to do that.
Yeah.
But like you said, when are we gonna get that update? When's that upgrade coming? Because when like I said, we had people over today and we were talking about that same exact thing, and I'm like, I want to see an orange firework. Are we gonna see an orange? So it's funny. Earlier you said that, but I was trying to think of colors, and it's that's a great idea. What you said too. Just put a sign in the sky. Welcome to Summerfest. Something cool like that instead of just what'd you do what was your big thing this year? Oh, the grand finale was an extra 29 minutes. Fuck. So you're totally right though. I mean, it's let's come on. What are we going to do here? We got to make the 4th of July better by creating new fireworks.
So that was our top 3 and bottom 3 4th of July things, stuff and things. So if you have any that wasn't on that list, let us know what you have. 1-727-266-6469 or sasaandgoff@gmail.com. On next week's episode, Goff, do you have a topic or am I pulling from this bucket?
You pull for. I thought about that halfway through that we didn't discuss the topic. So this is on you, man.
Give me a second.
So here's what you do when you lower it. Put your hand in and take one. I'm gonna give you my veto power. So.
All right. Let's see.
Oh, God. He can't hold the bucket. It's 3 pounds of plastic.
Hold, please.
What else did I watch this week that I could talk about?
Okay.
Okay, here he comes. Maybe. Are you lost? Again? He's lost. In the room. It's an 8x8 room.
Okay.
Okay. So he sifted through, and I can't see Sasha right now, so I don't know what the hell he's doing, but I'm guessing he sifted through, and then that laugh okay meant he found a good one.
All right. I'm going to give you 2 options. Half of them we've already done.
Okay, yeah, that's how it is, because I always throw them right back in the bucket like an idiot. Or we do a different version of it.
So we can either do top 3. I don't really like this one. All right. Okay. This is what we're going to do. We're going to do top 3 Daves. That's people named Dave.
All right.
Do you want to do least favorite Daves as well?
Yeah, why not? I mean, I feel like that would be an easy one, yeah.
All right, top 3 and bottom 3 Daves coming up on next week's episode. Love it.
Hell yeah, dude. That's an awesome one. Did Useless Dave send that in? I hope.
I would think so, yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know. It doesn't have a name attached to it, so that might have been mine. Yeah.
I like it.
All right, next week's episode, top 3 Daves. Thank you guys for listening. We'll see you next week.
Later.